Hi, everyone. You should have heard just a little bit ago. My wife was like, "So you have a fire right there? Like, do you know you have a fire in your hand?" Yes, I do. It's one of my kind of like little ritual things that I love to do for myself. I don't know what it is about smoke and incense that just kind of invokes a little, what would you call it? Sorry, I'm talking to my wife over here if you're wondering who I'm speaking to.
Moderating.
She is going to be doing the moderating and the picking of the questions and helping us move through this in a cohesive and kind of streamlined sort of way. But to answer the question, what would you call the desire, the need to have smoke or incense or that? It's like, it feels like smoke specifically. Like I don't want just fragrance, I want smoke. What is that? You don't know?
Spiritual practice.
It's just an Abby being an Abby. That works for me. Yes. Hi, Sandrine. I'm glad that you hopped in. So just to let you know, one, my name is right there on the little thing. I'm Abby. I run and operate and do the card slinging for AV Tarot reading. I am a tough love style of tarot reader. What I do is with the power of the cards in which I decide to choose, I tend to be overdramatic. I tend to be kind of animated. I'm kind of a person who likes to make you laugh. So don't be surprised if I'm a little weird, strange, and unusual. It's just what happens. Just ignore it and go on. No, what I want to do for you tonight is do our usual. This is Wednesday, what is it? March 18th. And we're in the middle of the whole, you know, the virus chaos stuff. So I'm here to keep a sort of normalcy. I'm here to read for you all. We're doing 6 card readings. Read from you all from 10, not 10, Jesus, what time is it? 8 to 9, yay! I'm getting my wheels underneath me, it's good. We're doing that for an hour. Basically, my game plan is to read almost any questions that you guys come to the table with. What I want to do is read specific questions. So the more specific you are, the more specific I can be. I'm probably going to steer away from general or very vague questions. If you ask me, like, what is the meaning of my life? I may pass that. If you want to know how to better plan for this transition that's happening of X, Y, and Z, spot on. And I will also share and show examples of that's a specific question. So you know, you know my reference point. So the more specific you are, the more specific I can be. I am going to ask that we limit it to 1 question per comment. If you end up putting 2 in, then I have to split it up and I may not get to your other question. So feel free to throw in questions, you know, all the time that we're here. It's going to be mostly 6 card readings. I don't foresee a reason as to why we'd go over or under that per se. So we'll just keep it at the 6. My general style is that I read the question, I'm listening for my little intuitions, little nudgies, little feels, whatever shows up, and then I'm also throwing the cards. I read a mix of what the cards are telling me via their meaning, their imagery, and also what kind of speaks out to me, what my intuition is telling me, and a touch of life experience as well. So it tends to be like a whole full circuit, full gambit of, of info that shows up and comes in for you. So I am going to grease up a little bit with my essential oils. I love this stuff. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I hate saying the name twice, even though it's supposed to be said twice. Hold on. I'll show you once. How about that? Let's see if I can get it. Oh, we can't read that. Hold on. Can we do it like makeup artist style? No. There we go. That's the name of it that I refuse to say twice. I hate 20 words, so that's just like, ew, it hits in the back. You know when like you something too sour gets in the back of the ear, like right behind your jawline. It's like, you know? I hate words that do that. And she's over here laughing at me, but it's so true. But the aromatherapy kind of helps me jump right into tarot work mode. It kind of opens up and feels like my direct conduit line is turned on when I have the aromas around me. So maybe that's part of why I like smoke, why I like atmosphere, why I like sprays, is because it's turning the aromatic portion of my intuitive world on. So I'm going to oil up and shuffle my cards. And while I'm working on that, hi! Hi! Oh, I love seeing all these people hopping in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I totally need to pop over to the comments and say hello to everybody. Shonda, hey, darlings. Jennifer, I'm so glad that you came today. Oh, he smells good. I'm not because every time I sniff my fingertips, please understand, I'm not doing a superstar like sniffing of the armpits via my fingertips. I'm not doing that. I promise. This is like this is my process, and I know it looks odd, but it helps me out. So we stay on task today. But yeah, let me hop into the comments. I just want to say quick highs to the people that have come up to hang out with me. Bernadette, I see you here. Thank you so much for coming in again, dearie. I see that you got your question and I love that. Kendra, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sandrine, I'm glad you're here. Oh my gosh, my ladies. Y'all are like the regulars. Y'all come and hang out with me every Wednesday and I love it. And I love seeing the new people that show up for us because every week it's a mixed bag. It's the regulars. It's the people that are new. I love pulling from the new people. I love getting like the people who have been like my ride or diers here the whole time. Oh yes, absolutely. Melissa just reminded me, will you share this video right now? If you're able to, go ahead and share this video on your own Facebook pages, share it in your own groups, share it to your sister-in-law who you think might like, you think might like this, you know? It helps spread the message. It helps spread the reach. It helps spread, you know, the accessibility when you share this stuff. So thank you for doing that in advance. I love you bunches of bananas for doing that. You and How and I are relaxing this evening.
You are How I relax in the evening.
Oh, you, I see, see, I have not only is she the moderator, she's also the reader when I start like, what? I'm so glad that I can help you relax with my over animated self. So I appreciate it. Hi, Ivory. It's so nice to see you. Rose, darling, you've changed your picture. I almost didn't recognize you. Oh, I can't read from this far back. I just realized I can't get it on a flash when I'm back here. I'm blind. No, actually, I have my vision's pretty good. Anyway. But yeah, I'll totally have to like, who's that name? Okay. Maybe 60 is going to be my limit on the video, like StreamYard. We'll have to do the big screen version. We'll figure it out. Anywho, let me hop out of comments before I stay completely distracted for too terribly long. But let me go ahead and get sniffed and shuffled. Sniffed and shuffled. I hope you all are doing well. I know this whole chaos has been making things interesting, but making work life interesting. I hope everyone's doing okay. And I'm sure we are, right? I'm sure we are, but we're all a little nervous. But I hope you're doing all right. I'm glad I can be here to kind of kick in a little bit of entertainment for you. So I look forward to jumping off. I'm going to start with the Light Seers Tarot. We have a couple out that have my regular standard Rider-Waite. I have my golden thread. We'll probably jump between sets today as I feel drawn. But whenever Melissa's ready and if my cards will actually cooperate with me and let me shuffle. Ooh, where is everybody from? I didn't know we were doing that. I love doing that. Tell me where you're from. You guys, if you didn't already know, I'm in Seattle, like epicenter Seattle. I'm in Seattle, and trust me, the world hasn't come to an end here. It just sounds like it has, but it hasn't. But we're in kind of like the north area of Seattle. Where are you from? I'd love to know. I've been doing little things recently, trying to get to know you all a little bit more. If you remember, I just did the show me your screen on your cell phones, because it's so nice to get to know like the children that some of you have, the little ways that you all kind of continue to think good thoughts via your screen. That gave me the idea of designing lock screen savers or lock screen pictures for you, which I am doing tonight, so no worries. That is coming out tonight. But yeah, it was so nice to get to know everybody. So yeah, I would totally love to know where everyone's from. We have Bernadette, you're in Denver? Lovely. Philly. Oh my God. Orlando. Nice, nice. Hey, you're in Renton. I'm glad to see you're nearby. Atlanta. Melissa loves her some Atlanta. She wants the strip clubs in Atlanta. We don't have them here in Seattle. We don't. Cincinnati, Montreal. Oh, I love that you all are all over the place. Melina, you're in Seattle as well. Girl, hunker down. More Orlando, or is that the same Orlando? Either way, we got Orlando being represented here. I love it. All right. I feel well shuffled. So if we can grab our question, we'll go ahead and get hopping in. And Melissa's not going to deliberately go out of her way to skip your questions. She does pick randomly to give me some variety. It just makes my life easier and also gives a scope as to what I can do instead of all relationship questions, all work questions, all, you know, that kind of thing. So, hi, was it in the right time that this friendship ended with this girl? Okay. Yeah, let's take a peek and see what's going on there. Was it in right timing? Was it in right timing? If I can figure it out. There we go. Just to show you, I'm using my Light Seers Tarot. You guys have been seeing me using this on my page over the last couple of days. Something that I'm just completely attracted to. I love the imagery of it and kind of the vibrancy and the subtleness. There you go. The subtleness of the cards. So I'm enjoying it. But let's see. Let's answer that question for you, my dear. Was it the right time that this friendship ended? Was it the right time? Was it the right time? Was it the right time? Let's see what shows up for us. Was it the right time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like it very well may have been the right time, or at least a situation that it no longer served you or doesn't serve you right now. And I'm sorry, I have something in my eye, so I'm going to be like digging in my eye and answering this question at the same time. Talk about multitasking. With the cards that I have for you, Sweet Pea, I have the Four of Cups, which to me is a little bit more reminiscent directly of the situation itself, along with the Nine of Wands and the Two of Wands. So just looking at this at first, it looks like you guys were suffering from a shit ton of miscommunication. Like you were saying something, she was saying something, and you just couldn't quite, you're both speaking English, but the communication was just not there of it. And so I feel like there's very well like a bit of miscommunication with that Nine of Wands. You then making the decision to like, okay, or someone making the decision like, we're not doing this anymore, and kind of separating. And then the reason that I'm saying that is because she is no longer looking interior to her house. She's looking exterior out at the planet. So to me, that is kind of coming back to going from what is to what possibly could be, going from what is going on in my environment to what do I want more out of my life. And it doesn't often involve these other people, these people that were bugging us, these people that we were kind of doing battles and kind of trying to make things work with, trying to make these friendships work with. You stopped doing that. Now, was it in the right time? I don't see why not, because I feel like you letting this go, we have the Queen of Wands. So that's kind of like that inner energetic wisdom. You also have the Four of Wands. I feel like you're actually able to have fun now that this person has kind of decided to move themselves out of your life. And then you have the Hierophant. So that to me is like the ultimate, you did what you felt was in your best interest. So was it in right timing? I wouldn't be surprised if you should have done this sooner, is the feeling that I'm having with it. But it's a good thing that you did this. It feels like it was to your advantage, in your best interest, to go ahead and disconnect or separate, just because it doesn't feel like it was well suited. It kind of has this slightly like maturity level mismatch. And there's another element to it that I'm having a hard time putting names. I remember back in my dating days when you meet somebody and you think it was good and it's just, no. And I don't even know why no, but just no. And then you eventually kind of oil and water yourselves apart, essentially, is kind of the way it feels. But was it in good timing? I think it was. So I think you made a good call there, my dear. Let me put my little incense stick out here so I don't smoke out the entire house. Melissa likes my incenses, but she doesn't at the same time. She's like, you do too much. You do too much. All right, Milana. Should I continue to connect with my boyfriend for a more deeper understanding, or should I walk away? Should you stay or should you go, essentially? Should I continue to connect with my boyfriend for better understanding, deeper connection, or should I walk away? I love one that I've never seen your face before, or at least your icon, so I believe you're new. I think you're new to the playhouse, so to speak. You're new to this. Sorry, I have like fuzz that's like dangling right in front of my face.
Welcome to all the new people. We have 100 people in here.
Woo! Welcome all the hi people! Yay! I'm glad you're all here. All right. Should I continue to connect with the boyfriend, or should I walk away? So let's see. What's in your best interest to do here? What's in your best interest? That's what I want to know. What's in your best interest? Oh, if you see a troll, just, let them escort themselves out. Luckily, I don't see them, so it works very well on my end. Good? Yay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should you stay or should you go? 6 of Wands. Let me show you what I have, Sweet Pea. I have the 6 of Wands, along with the World, and the 5 of Swords. In addition, I have the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, Was that your phone? Is it alive? Okay, I'm sorry. When the phone hits the ground, you get nervous. And the Three of Cups along with the Star. What am I seeing here? Six of Wands, Five of Swords, the World. I feel like you making changes, you shifting gears is something that's in your best interest. So, should I continue to connect with my boyfriend or should I walk away? You know, I don't feel like it is as black and white as that right now. And that's, I think that's part of what we're looking for is we're looking like, do we stay or do we go? You're looking for direction. You're looking for an answer. You're looking for somebody to deliver what you are supposed to do. And I don't feel like it is necessarily as black and white as this. I feel like there may need to be an evaluation from your end about your situation, about what you want and what would be in your best interest. The Six of Wands kind of has that element. It's like, yeah, when it's good, it's great. That's the part that I like about your relationship and your connection. And then the Five of Wands shows up and it's like, when it's bad, it's nerve wracking and it grates on my nerves and I want to choke him in his sleep kind of thing. Like it has that, both ends of it. But I feel like this is a learning, like this is life and this is learning. So the world is a cycle. The world is continually to spin. This is, if you don't learn these principles in this relationship now, you're going to learn it with somebody else. So it's like, if you haven't figured out how to navigate relationships in general, these problems are going to continue to surface up. So whatever issues you're having with your boyfriend, figure out if you can work on that here before you decide to dissolve it. Because it's like, it feels like it has its potential to be nice and sweet. And it also has its potential to separate and go by the wayside. Like everybody has a potential to do so. Ace of Pentacles for me is like, it has potential. It has opportunity. It has as much as you're willing to give into it. The great thing about something that's growing is like, you have this root system, you have this potential, you have this ability to get into the ground and to draw nutrient from it, so long as there's ground available to you. The Three of Cups and then the Star, to me, is kind of that like that desire and that need to get in community with maybe some of your lady friends. Like I feel like this kind of reminds me of them girlfriends that we need to have, just, or like that close community that we cultivate for ourselves. That's what that to me means, because they have your back. They are your tribe. They are your ladies. They're the ones that you can kind of like go to when you've been stressed out by their dear sweet boyfriend who just doesn't quite understand how to do things yet, or left his socks on the floor yet again, or what have you. But the Star is like, is coming back to you. It's coming back to what you want and not necessarily asking what you should do or if you should leave or if you should stay. I feel like, well, from an Abby to a you, it's kind of like, hun, figure this out. I mean, it doesn't matter if you stay or if you go, figure this out, figure out what you want, figure out what you would like for yourself, figure out what your goals and ambitions are, and then decide if he lines up, if this relationship lines up, if your game plan in life right now lines up with what you really want for yourself. But as of right now, I feel like you have a little deciding to do, and it's more something that you have to do. It can't be decided for you. If that's a semi-non-answer, my dear. But thank you so much for the question, though. I think a lot of people can benefit from hearing that kind of thing, because it's like you want to know blanketly, should I stay or should I go? And I'm not going to be the one to just say, yeah, you should leave. Yeah, you should stay, you know, kind of thing. So I encourage you to make your own decisions, my dear. Thank you so much for that question, though. All right, let me keep shuffling. Ooh, there you go. She's working on it, working on it. There we go. What do the cards say about our financial situation? Let's see what we have. What do the cards say about our financial situation? And you all, please feel free to let me know how these readings land for you, because sometimes you come back a couple weeks later and let me know. And I love hearing that. I love hearing those stories about how it landed. Even let me know if it didn't. If this doesn't make sense and I went far left, let me know that too, because it helps me stay on target. I have a pretty good track record of being on target, but you know, I'm human. I still want to know. So Jennifer, what do the cards say about your financial situation? Let's see what we have. I feel like I need to get more oil in my life. Let's see. What do your cards say about your financial situation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a feeling, and I'm trying to figure it out because it's not one that I feel very often. To me, it has the feeling of when you're nervous in advance of something, like you're anticipating there being a problem. There's not a problem yet, but you're anticipating an issue. It's kind of that preemptive, maybe that's what it is. It's preemptive anxiety. Like you're not even quite, there's not quite an issue there, but you're concerned that there very well may be, if that makes sense. The cards that I have for you, Sweet Pea, is the Magician, along with the Six of Wands, and then the Emperor. So to me, this top line is like the Magician. He is the creator of his own universe. He is the maker of his own reality. And as of right now, they're having a grand old time. Life is good. They're celebrating. They're emoting. It's all energy out. You're getting energy in. It's feeling good. And now we're starting to get a little pensive. And not pensive in a bad way. It's just more like strategic consideration. I love this imagery of the bishop here, though, because the bishop in chess is like that piece that can fly all the way across the board. To me, they're kind of like the, oh gosh, like I almost think of it as like archery assassins of the chess world is kind of how I think of them, because they can catch you from a long distance. And so I totally understand maybe this energy of preemptively worrying in advance because you're trying to scout ahead of time. You're trying to scout or look above the trees. You're trying to get that far reaching vantage point so that you can plan ahead of time. Is what it's feeling like for me. In addition, I have the Three of Wands. I also have the Hermit and then the Knight of Swords. So your question is, what do they say about your financial situation? I feel like you're watching. You're looking, the Three of Wands is very much kind of climbing up to the hill and kind of scouting above the horizon, looking for what's coming across the sea. Even the Hermit is that isolation. So that kind of like being by yourself and quiet contemplation. And then the Knight of Swords is sometimes very reactive. So I think maybe like you might be possibly in a situation where you're jumping a little too soon. So my first thought that I had is like when, like right now the market, like the stock market is doing wonky things, right? Right. So a lot of people are getting panicked and are starting to sell out, like they're trying to cancel out their financial portfolios. And like, that's actually the way in which the market tanks, is when everyone gets scared and yanks out. That's when you lose your money, is because you've then, oh, I forgot the term. Was it, oh, not realized. It's, do you remember the term when you, oh, poo. I'll find it and let you know later. But when you've cashed out your portfolio, when you've sold your investment, when you've done that whole thing, that's when you've either lost or gained money. That's when you're realized. It is realized. That's when you've realized your loss or gain, is because you've cashed out. So if you're considering hopping out of the market or hopping out of an investment or hopping out of something, it feels like more reactionary instead of like strategic game planning, is the feel that I had for just a moment there. So as to what your cards say about your financial situation, it's kind of like you're watching things. You're seeing what things are doing. I feel like you're looking for your pulse and you're trying to figure it out. Depending on how long this illness lasts, I may have. There we go. As your preschool teacher. Oh, okay. So yeah, I can totally see how you would be wanting to plan in advance, keep an eye on things in advance so that you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Gotcha. Well, let's not worry about too hard, too much before putting the cart before the horse kind of thing. Let's just see how things progress. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and I wouldn't say making any decisions right now would be in anyone's best interest. Just right now, kind of playing it day to day would probably be ideal, at least to make it through all of this. All right, Rose, how can I provide more value to my company? That's a great question. See, that's an example specific question. That's a wonderfully specific question. All right, Rose, Sweet Pea. Let's see. How can you add more value to your company? I feel like first off, being yourself was like the first thing that kind of came to mind. So if you are trying to be a such and such version of yourself, or a tinier version of yourself, taking up less space, like getting outside of your need to please and just being yourself would be, that would be a glorious. How can you provide more value to your company? All right, let's pull. How can you provide more value to your company? I feel like you have the potential to be a planner. So you see a little bit ahead of time, and you could, how would you say that? You see things before they happen. You kind of see the trajectory of things. You see how something, if you continue to do this, that's going to happen. Like some people don't have the forethought for, it's not even like a psychic vision or anything. It's just like common sense. 1 + 1 = 2, sweetheart. Like that's going to hurt if you do that. So you have this ability to see things a little bit before they happen. The cards that I have for you is the 7 of Wands, along with the 9 of Pentacles and the 2 of Wands. I feel like possibly you hold ear to people who I think of it as complaining and gossiping, but that's just me. So I wouldn't be surprised if you listen to the people who are little disheveled, little needing someone to talk to, right? I feel like you hold ear for them, probably a little more than you probably ought to, but you know, who's to judge? The other cards that I have for you, my dear, is Temperance, along with Justice and the Magician. So I think this little bit of forethought that you have with your, or foresight, there you go, foresight that you have for your company, using that in a balanced way, not flying completely off a handle, trying to prevent them from their own demise, but more just helping them, like, pointing something out. Okay, you're not going to listen. That's fine. You know, come back and see me when you need some help would be useful. And then maintaining just you being you being yourself, you being your wonderful, magic, glorious, lovely self that has opportunities and things that show up for you and things that help you out, and you know, just continue to be yourself, darling. That would be your biggest asset. That is a gloriously long name. I love it. I received an interview for 2 jobs. Will I receive an offer of employment for either position? Oh, I love these specifics. Yay! We are listening today. I love it. You guys, I love it when we all play fairly. It works out very well on this side of the table. All right. You recently interviewed for 2 jobs. Will you receive an offer for either position? Will you receive, I actually want to switch cards for you. Will you receive an offer for either position? I'm going to use my standard Rider-Waite, which I'm pretty sure we've seen till we've been blue in the face. All right. I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to make a lot of noise. Woo! Yay! It's always a good sound when that happens. All right, last one. Are you going to get either of those 2 jobs? You interviewed for 2. You're going to get either of those. All right, let's see what shows up for you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. Okay, so the reason I'm saying is I have a thought. So I have the Knight of Cups for you, along with the Knight of Wands. I have the, what is this? The Page of Pentacles, which I love, along with the Hierophant, the Ace of Pentacles, oops, and the 6 of Cups. I think you are going to get an offer from them. My thought, though, is that there's an annoying aspect to one of them. So the one that shows up for you, it feels more like one than another, and separating as to which it would be something that we could do privately. But I feel like you are going to get an offer for one of them, but my concern and my question is that I feel like there's an issue with the money. Like the monetary aspect isn't as much as they said or that you asked for. So it feels like, yeah, we're going to give you an offer. That's wonderful and all, but it's like for 10 grand less than what we agreed to. So there's like this annoying little aspect that you then may need to come back and like, do I really want to do this? Is it worth it? What are my needs right now? And can I wait until I get something better? Or do I need to grab this so that I have some security before I then continue to job hunt, continue to job search? But ultimately, if the question about getting a job is the primary focus, then getting a job out of those 2, I don't think is going to be a problem. So that to me, it's like you just recently interviewed for the 2. I think you're going to get one of them or get an offer from one of them. My only thing is I'm feeling something about the money. Like there's an issue with the money. Yes, you're right. One job does pay less than what I currently make. I think that's the one that you're probably going to get the, yay, we'd love to have you on, but not at the salary that you currently have. And so there's that Do I want to take this? What are my needs? What do I need to do? Yeah, so to answer that question, yes, you're going to get one of the jobs or get an offer. Where you're going to take it or not, that's another question entirely. But thank you so much for your question, Sweet Pea. I definitely appreciate it. Will I expand my family with my current boyfriend? Ooh. Welcome back, Nicole. Melissa says you've been here before. Are you going to expand your family? You know, now that we're all like on lockdown right now, it's the perfect time to expand some families. Come, what is it, December that we decided there's going to be like a whole proliferation in the OBGYN buildings all over this country? Okay, will I expand my family with my current boyfriend? Will you expand the family? Will you expand the family? You want to. Let's see. 2. Let's see. Let's see what we have for you, dear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to show you what I have the 2 of Wands, along with the Knight of Cups and the 6 of Swords. I also have the Wheel of Fortune for you and the Ace of Swords reversed, along with the 6 of Cups. My thing is, I think where I'm getting a tug of war at in my mind about this is that I almost feel like if you're wanting to have children, then he may be on the fence about it. Like there's a little hesitation about expanding, but I can definitely feel that you want to. I can definitely feel like it will probably accidentally happen, especially now that things are the way they are. But whether you will or will you won't, biology feels good. It seems like you can. I don't see why you couldn't. Like, I don't feel anything in here that says that you're not going to. I guess my only question and concern is your partner. Are you both on the same page about wanting to have children? It's the opposite. Oh, okay. So it was there though. So you're a little on the fence and he's the one that super wants children. Okay. I feel like, so knowing that, I feel like there's a slowness to it. I don't see why you couldn't, but it's like, if you want to have children, then hop in and do whatever it is we need to do, like multiply and have rabbits. But if you don't, then be very clear about that. And then also take precautionary measures so that it doesn't accidentally happen. But it feels more likely that you could and that you very well may. He definitely does. And you're nervous. Gotcha. Understood. Understood, Sweet Pea. You can. That's what I'm seeing, is that you can have children. You most likely will have children. I do kind of see a little bit of your angst with that 6 of Swords that you have in there, because you're kind of like, it's in your mental, your swords are all about thoughts and processes, or thoughts and anxieties, stresses, and there's another word that I can't come to mind just at the moment, but it's definitely something that you're thinking a lot about. As of right now, I feel like you're going to sweeten up to it. I don't know exactly when you're going to sweeten up to it, but I feel like it is something that you're going to eventually kind of like, okay, we can try this. You can try this. We can try this and see how it goes. But yeah, honey, if you don't, okay, so caveat, if you do not want children, then actively do not do things to get pregnant. Because as of right now, it looks like you very well could get pregnant. So if you're wanting to get children, or if you're wanting to open up to the idea of having children with him, then that's something that's going to be like soon. So just as a forewarning, or foreseeing, forethought for you, my dear. If you don't want kids, then don't do the things that get you kids. If you do, you're gonna. Will my business make it through the potential recession, or should I plan to lose it all? Ooh, quite a question, Sweet Pea. I'm gonna switch cards out for you. Should you? Well, don't plan to lose it all. Like, no one plans to lose everything they own. So let's not aim for that. But let's see. Will your business make it through this potential recession? Will your business make it through this potential recession? So I'm going to go to my golden thread for you, Sweet Pea. I hope you all know that you're Sweet Peas now. Just letting you know. I use it like all the time in social. So you're all Sweet Peas. That's my southernness in me coming out. All right. Will your business make it through this potential recession? Last one. All right, let's see what we have for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, my dear. A couple of the cards that I have for you. I have the Ten of Swords, along with the Ten of Cups. Oops, and my cards aren't coming up because they're too thin. There we go. I have the Empress for you. So this first part to me is like the mass amount of anxiety that this is showing up for you. I feel like though you preemptively planning is better suited, or kind of like the invitation in this situation is more figure out ways to aim for longevity instead of aiming for it's all going to fall apart. It's all going to die. Like I feel like you have possibilities. You have opportunities. The Empress is pregnant with opportunities. So the suggestion or the invitation is look to see how can you batten down your hatches so that you can weather this storm? Like how can you plan now so that you can make it through? What can you do now so that you're not only holding on and because the Four of Pentacles has this neurotic, fear-based holding of finances, holding of material possessions, holding of things. They also call that the miser. So it's like this perpetual need to hold on to things. The Four of Swords is the need to relax, the need to relax a bit. And then the Star for you is that center of focus for me. Sometimes it's perpetual optimism. Sometimes is also with that. So I guess the thing that I'm feeling in relation to answer your question directly, which is the point, will your business make it through this potential recession? What I'm feeling is if you shift your point of focus from we're going to lose it all to what can I do to weather this storm? What can I do to make it ahead? How can I make this an opportunity instead of a disadvantage? What can I do to think outside of the box, to strategize more, to game plan differently? How can I take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be showing up here, instead of looking at this as we're all going to die and my business is falling apart and we're all going to fall apart at the seams and such and such. So if we can shift that focus just a bit, I think that could actually play to your advantage and you'd be able to weather this a lot better than if we go ahead and plan for you to lose it all, per se. I hope that at least gives you a little bit of an answer to your direct question, my dear. But thank you so much. Oh yes, I have just a few little thingies. 4 minutes. She tries to keep me 4 minutes. Don't overtalk it. Give me the 1 minute cue so I don't keep going. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to like show and share and tell, right? So I've been adding some different things to the store. We've been adding tarot books because, I do use and new tarot on Etsy, right? So if you're ever open or interested or shopping for a gift of cards to you, to yourself, to someone else that that's a really nice opportunity to get a used set of cards that have already been pre-loved, already have been worked with, already have had great, it's kind of like fostering if you think about it. It's like you've already had this one person who have owned it, who maybe no longer resonates with the set of cards, and now it needs to be rehomed, and now it needs to be adopted. It's kind of upcycling cards is a way of thinking about it, I guess. In addition, sorry? Yeah, that's part of the process is I clear the previous working energy with those cards, get them ordered and get them put back all their niceties in their box, and then have a little nest that they get to stay in until they find their new home. And so it's kind of like, I think of myself as like the tarot foster mom of all these cards that come to me. So I love sharing those all with you. In addition, we've been adding some things like crystals, because tarot and crystals kind of go like peanut butter and jelly. I'm just going to let y'all know. But also, I have a necklace that I just put up that's a rose quartz kind of pendulum style necklace. And it's quite a lovely piece. I'm kind of impressed and pleased and proud of it. So I'm telling you, if somebody else doesn't get it for me, it may be just one of the new tools in my closet of things that I get to use. So it's a 24-inch chain. It is silver plated, but the pendant itself is rose quartz and silver. And it has quite an interesting little, see if I can show it without blowing out the camera. It has quite an interesting little detail. There we go. Kind of, I'm going away out of the camera. There we go. Kind of an interesting little detail, but that's a rose quartz point to it. And I'm sure you remember all those times where I was talking about how much rose quartz is great for self-love, self-care, romance, relationships, all those warm and fuzzies. Rose quartz is a wonderful tool to kind of help foster, enhance, increase, create ritual around self-love, self-care, romance, relationships, relation with you, relation with others. That's a wonderful stone for that. I also wanted to show and tell some of the cards that I've been putting up. If you've never seen the company 78 Astral, this is one of their 78 Tarot is a brand that creates a annual tarot card compilation. And so every year they get 81 different artists to contribute the artwork to one card. And so like this card is by this particular artist, and that's their version of the Fool. You go to, what is this? The Lovers, and that's this artist's representation of the Lovers card, and so forth and so on. So 81 different artists. So if you tend to look at these cards or look at cards as like decks of artwork, a little art gallery, that is the epitome of like art gallery in a box. You get 81 different artists for every set of cards that are like that. 1 minute mark. The other one is a sweet oldie but goodie, Crow Tarot. Crow is an artist that lives here local to the Seattle area because we have so many crows here. We have so many crows. But this tarot set is all based on crow imagery, and it is quite a easy set to read with. It's kind of an intuitive. If you happen to like crows or happen to be a fan of birds in general, yeah, just some imagery there for the crow land. But yeah, I'm gonna put these away. We're gonna hop right back on in. We'll do some more. Let me put these away. Put them back on their nest. Hey, that kind of applies to this one, huh? The crow has a nest. Ah, yay. Alrighty, let me put these away, you all. So let's see where we're at. We're at 8:42, so I know that we will probably do another full read, and then we'll hop into our flash readings, right?
Yes. Okay,
cool beans. So Johnson, will my current relationship work because me and my boyfriend not getting along right now? Do you think someone else is out there for me? Okay, so we're going to omit the someone else out there because that's a second question for you. So will my current relationship work? Will your current relationship work out? Gotcha. Okay. So let me shuffle some cards. Let's see what we have for you. Will your current relationship work out? I'm sorry that you two aren't getting along. Will your current relationship work out? I feel a lot of friction in it, almost like static though. So it's not like that it's not working, but it's creating a lot of static is like almost the exact word. It's like right when things are okay, then something happens and they're not anymore. Anywho, let's see what shows up. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, my dear. What am I seeing? What am I seeing? So I have the Sun for you. Then I have the Knight of Swords with the Four of Cups. So this first part to me is like, right, particularly when you're having good times. I feel like when you're, because when you've gone through a stressful period, you've then buttoned up all your edges, you've smoothed out all your abrasiveness. Everyone's on their best behavior. They're buttoned up and they're on their best behavior. And then you have a great time with something, or you have a good moment, and then your defenses come down. And it's when those defenses come down that I feel like there's maybe a word that is said, and then an argument ensues. And then there's that kind of pouting in the corner, disappointed, feelings are hurt, everyone's emotional kind of situation. So it's like you have this flow where it's like, I'm having a great time. Someone says something, now my feelings are hurt. The Three of Wands is another card that I have for you. The 10 of Pentacles along with the Four of Swords. So to me, I feel like you're kind of already scanning the horizon for another opportunity. It feels like you're kind of like wanting permission to leave the situation. And that's kind of one of those decisions. Like if you want to leave, then Abby is not going to make that decision for you and not going to tell you if you should stay or if you should go per se. I feel like you have this desire for a family though. And I think you want to have family with this person, but there's this friction. There's this static that occurs every time you two kind of get together. Four of Swords. Will Will it work out? Four of Swords kind of has this like ultimate rest, ultimate element to it. So will it work out? Not the way that it's going right now. Like, I feel like you're at this point where we have to make decisions now. Like, you're getting to the point where it's probably getting too late to make pivotal shifts. But if you want to stay in this relationship, if you want to maintain the situation, if you want this to get better, then we have to act now to then shift, to then decide to change the trajectory of this relationship. If things stay the way they are, you're going to be leaving. We fight too much in trust issues. If things still stay the way they are, you will separate. That's the long and short of that one. So if you want to stay together, then we need to get on the same page now. We need to start working on this now. And sometimes that's having that come to Jesus talk and deciding mutually if you both are in this game, and if you are, if you're not, and then make decisions from there. So you don't have to ride this until the wheels fall off. You don't have to wait until stop laughing. You don't have to allow this to explode. You don't have to get to that point. You can decide now how you want to progress. And then sometimes taking the lead can make all the difference. So just taking ownership, taking the reins and deciding, okay, I want in this. Do you want in this? No? Okay, then let's start to split this off. Yes. All right. Then we need to work on this. This is not okay. This is going to melt us down to our seams. This is going to destroy everything that we work on. We've got to fix this. So it's like, it still feels like you have the potential if you both decide now, but if you don't, it's just going to separate and melt away. So my sweet pea, I'm sorry, but I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. And do let me know how this progresses for you over time. I want to stay in touch with that. But thank you, my dear. Oh, we're at the flash ratings part. This is fun. Was that kind of Irishy? Like what was that? Anywho, so just to let you know what we do for flash readings, it's our way of getting a bunch of people in at the last minute. I read one question, I pull one card. I give you your reading quickly, as concisely as I can based on that one card. So it tends to lack the fluff and it tends to get directly to the point. So I'm going to use my Rider-Waite-Smith to give you direct one card readings and get as many of you in before we finish up for the evening. Oh, yes, good point. If you want to get some work done privately with me one-on-one, I have a couple options to get in touch with me. First, I offer video, Skype, Facebook Messenger readings, so we can do it one-on-one privately for 30 or 60-minute increments. I can also do the same reading style by chat. So if you'd rather not be on camera because we're a little camera shy, I can do it via Facebook Messenger chat or Skype chat as well. If you'd like something more in-depth, like maybe a past life reading or maybe a week ahead forecast. I know these are some trying times when we want to know, what does it look like above the forest? A week ahead forecast is really, really good for that. If you want to look at, should I stay? Should I go? I can do timing, things like that. Those are best suited for like email readings, and I have those options available for you as well. So you can totally just reach out to me here or go to the website and schedule it directly. It'll walk you through the entire process. And if you have any questions, always reach out and let me know. I will help you out, my dears. But yes, let's go ahead and do those super fast questions. Can my current relationship lead to marriage? Okay, so I feel like there's a difference between the can and the will, but let's see if it can, since that was the direct question that you had. Let's see if it can. So you all, please feel free to drop your questions into the comments, and Melissa will start picking as we go. So can your current relationship lead to marriage? I don't think this one will lead to it in its current state. It's not going to lead to marriage, or it's not going to be best suited for marriage. So I guess my suggestion or my opportunity of improvement is I feel like there is some elevation that needs to happen emotionally first between either you or your partner before you two are going to be on the same page for marriage. So it doesn't feel like it's quite suited yet. Anything has the potential, but this situation as it is right this second, I don't think it's going to or could lead to marriage, at least not a concisive and clean one. Ovara, we bought a house in Florida. We moved from Las Vegas 2 months ago. Are we going to be fine in Florida? Aw, you're going to be fine in Florida. You're going to be fine. But let's pick a card because that's what we want. Are you going to be fine in Florida? Yes. So the Judgment card is kind of that, that leaving of one thing exposing yourself to the other thing and allowing it to be just as is. So it's kind of like a resurrection of sorts. This gives you the opportunity to rebirth yourself, to kind of redefine your life, redecide who you are in this new environment. And as of right now, it's still in its construction phase. So yeah, you can be fine if that is something that you want to be. Now, if you have something more specific that we're looking into, then totally let me know and throw that question back into those comments. What cards come up for your marriage, Angelica? What comes up for your marriage? What comes up for her marriage? What's this? This is the death card. So I wouldn't think of this as like literal death, but more of transformative death. So I wonder what's going on for your marriage. I do feel like you two are at a pivotal point in your situation right now. It's like you need to make a decision. A decision needs to be made, and it's very firm. It's I heard it twice. It was shit or get off the pot. So it's like I don't know what that is in relation to what's going on for you, my dear. But it feels like you're in pivotal moments in your relationship. So these moments are deciding factors for you because things are changing, things are shifting, and things are being tilled like right now. So that's what it shows for you, my dear. Oh my goodness. I came to Idaho to visit my pregnant daughter today. She started having small contractions at noon. They have stayed constant, but not too painful. Will we have a baby in the next day or two? And will her delivery go smoothly? First baby. So 1, awesome sauce. I'm glad that you're there. And then 2, we're going to pick one question out of there. Now, are you going to have a baby in the next day or two? I don't feel like day or two, but I feel like week or two. So like soon. Soon. Dude, I had Braxton Hicks for like 4 weeks before I had my son. It scared my mom the whole time. When we made 3 emergency trips to the ER because she thought I was in labor. I'm like, I'm not. Like, when you're in labor, you know. What's this one? Okay. So again, I don't feel like soon. I feel like this stuff is going to keep you up though. So 9 of Swords reversed. I'm glad you're there with your daughter. I'm glad you're there to also be panic stricken with her, because it adds to the sense of safety. It adds to the sense of like comfort that's around her. But you both are going to be kind of like amping each other up. It doesn't feel like days. It feels like maybe a week or 2. We could totally maybe pull some cards on if we can kind of, I want to do like a pool on when the baby will show up. We should totally do that. All right, I'm shuffling you all. Okay. Will my husband and I ever be able to birth a baby? Will they be able to birth a baby? Let's see if we can get one card out of that. Will they be able to birth a baby? Will they be able to birth a baby? What's this card? Let's see. Page of Pentacles. You are intensely focused on this having a child thing. I feel like you guys are going through in vitro, or not in vitro, but you're going maybe in vitro. Like you're going through the fertility treatments. You're considering going through the fertility or extra stuff. Like there's more that you're considering doing because you're intensely focused on object baby, mission baby. Like it feels like this is something that you're very, very intensely focused on. Will you be able to birth the baby? That's you know what this feels like? This feels like the moment you stop looking at, will I get pregnant? Will I get pregnant? Will I get pregnant? Will I get pregnant? Is when you'll actually get pregnant. So it's like, I feel like once you've given up on getting pregnant, that's when you'll accidentally get knocked up. It's usually what happens with that. I feel like this intense focus on I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. When will I get pregnant? I'm not pregnant now. When will I get pregnant? When will I get pregnant? Just keeps you not being pregnant. So if you're wanting to get to go through that whole experience of conceiving, going through the 9-10 months actually, and then delivering, then we're gonna have to get off the topic. We're gonna have to let it relax a little bit so that your system can actually do so. All right, so we're still working on it. All right, you all. Will I get married? Tiana. Ooh. Oh, good point. That is not a Tanya. That is a Tiana. Thank you so much for that. Will you get married? I love seeing all these new faces today. Will you get married? Of course you can if you want to. Justice. I feel, what is this? It feels like it's teetering on the edge of something. You know how things balance, like right here? Like if I could get my card to balance, like it feels like you're very much on a teetering point with the idea of marriage or getting married. I would love to know more. Will you get married? I mean, you can. The will part is the question mark. That's the part. You can, obviously you can. Now, will you? I think this is there's something more to this, and that's the part that I'm wanting to know, because I would love to give you, yes, you'll get married. No, will never get married, but I refuse to believe that you'll never get married if that is actually something that you want in life for yourself. So I'd love to know what else is going on there, my dear. But can you? Yeah, definitely you can. Oh, this sweet out. Did I make the right decision for my aunt? Oh, did you make the right decision for your aunt? Let's pull some cards. I think you did, hon. Let me pull a card for you. I have some guilt around that. 9, 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles. Right decision. Something to do with patience and things taking a long time. So whatever decision that you made, I feel like you made it with the best intent and the best interest, and you made it with you made the best decision that you could with the information that you had, if that makes sense. So is it the right decision? Of course, you made the best decision that you could with the information that you had. There's this aspect of it, though. It's like patience and waiting and allowing things to draw out aspect of it. I would love to know more about the situation and what it is that you did, but that's just me being nosy. But if you made the right decision or not, you did, hon. Don't worry about that. Of course you did. Are there any cards coming up for my marriage? Thanks in advance. Are there any cards coming up for my marriage? I don't know how to answer that. Sweetie, there's cards coming up. No, I don't. Any card. Okay. Thank you for the read, because I take things a little too literally sometimes. All right. Are there any cards for your marriage? Wheel of Fortune. So let's put that right side up. Wheel of Fortune. In regards to your marriage, almost feel like coming at this or talking about this in relation to your marriage is to have allow your marriage the opportunity to grow and evolve, to shift and to change. So what you to come to the table as right now, allow it to shift and evolve over time. Wherever you're at right now, allow it to shift and evolve and change and progress and evolve and grow, but secular, like in that shifting ing process. But yeah, that's what I would say for that. Sarah, having a hard time dealing with a breakup. What can I do to better myself in a relationship? Let's get out of these cards. We're going to use these other ones. What can we do? I'm sorry that you had a breakup, sweetie. I know that's hard stuff. What can I do to better myself in a relationship? The first thing that keeps coming to mind is focusing for now on the relationship that you have with yourself. And then when you get into your next relationship, don't lose touch with that. That's going to be like your anchor point when you have relationships with others, is that focus that you have with yourself. Let's get your one card. What can I do to better myself in relationship? Ace of Cups. She's saying the same thing. So Ace of Cups is heart-focused, heart-centered, but this is the singular person. She's holding her own heart. She's in relation to her own power, her own mysticism, her own spirituality, her own emotions, her own strength. She's a journaler. She's connected. She's connected to herself. So in relationships, to better yourself in the next relationship that you have, stay in touch with yourself first and foremost. Flying high on that one, my dear. All right, Angelica. Will my husband's asthma interfere with his job? Woo, wonderfully direct question. Thank you so much for that. Will your husband's asthma interfere with his job? Oops. What's this one? What is that? 4 of Wands. I feel like only if he gets excited. So I wonder if it's what induces his asthma and if he can prepare for that. So having the inhaler, having whatever his process is to maintain his asthma, so long as he prepares and has his strategy plan for that, then it feels like he should be fine. because it's like, this is celebratory, this is good times, this is a grand opportunity, these are excitements. So I don't think it's gonna interfere with like, I'm gonna lose my job interfere. This feels like when I get super excited, whew, you know, I need my inhaler. But outside of that, like, I think he will manage just fine. I think he'll manage just fine. Will my fiance get a good paying job soon? Job soon. Will he get the job soon? Will your fiance get the job soon? Oops. Will the fiance, there we go, get the job soon? I think so. Maybe, the timeline is the question mark, because I can't really do timeline on one card, but an ace or king of pentacles kind of has that feeling of provider. He has the feeling of stability, sanity, chill, kind of like coast. He's like the anchor and a bit of a rock, you know? So will he get the good paying job? Yes. Now the timeline, that's the question. I'm not exactly sure on the when, but he definitely will. He definitely will.
And then lastly, I had a question for you.
Oh, Rose, what about the post you made earlier? Thought you were going to talk about it on the live. Oh, I'm doing it after the live. Thank you so much for the clarity. So spot on, Rose. What it was is a pick a card. And I am, what you're doing is that you pick which card you're most attracted to. After this live, I will be drafting up the readings based on the numbers that are picked. And then I'm also designing images that you can download and have as like your cell phone background image, so that you kind of have that message until we do the next one, or until you decide to change it out with something else. But you all, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. You can find me here next week at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, especially since a lot of us are locked in our houses right now. Sorry? Yes, bring the questions, hang out with us, have some fun, commune with each other. I love this. I love these opportunities to chat, to read your questions, to go back and read the comments as they've come through. So I definitely enjoy this. So if you do want to schedule anything one-on-one with me, please feel free to set up a time by clicking the link in this post. You can schedule directly with me there via Skype or what was the other one? Facebook Messenger. You can also do chat or email with me as well. So it's all available to you, darlings. But yeah, oh, of course, share. Yes, there you go. Totally share this with somebody that you care for, someone that you love, or even on your own page. Spreading this reach just helps kind of get the message out that tarot is not something that needs to be done under the confines of a closet back with the lady with the headband and the crystal ball thing. There you go. Perfect. All right. So today is March 18th, 2020. You all take care. Have a good evening. Stay safe. Stay sanitized. And I will be seeing y'all soon. Mwah. Bye.